SpaceX. We all know about this company, as they have accomplished many goals in such a short period of time, and reusability has always been a key feature of any SpaceX mission. Their booster landings always look like something straight out of science fiction. So today, let's discuss something related to the booster. That is, why does the Falcon 9 booster mostly land on a drone ship in the sea? In today's video of DiscoverZen. We are going to be focusing on the Falcon 9 launch and landing in this video, as it's the most famous and reliable rocket of SpaceX. And we also happen to have more data on the Falcon 9 compared to other rockets. Falcon 9 is a reusable two-stage rocket designed and manufactured by SpaceX for the reliable and safe transport of people and payloads into Earth orbit and beyond. It is, of course, the world's first orbital-class reusable rocket. It has a payload capacity of 8,300 kilograms or 18,300 pounds for the geostationary transfer orbit. The engines in the Falcon rocket are called Merlin engines. This is the family of rocket engines developed by SpaceX for use in its Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Falcon Heavy launch vehicles. The first stage is equipped with 4 landing legs made of state-of-the-art carbon fiber with aluminum honeycomb. The 9 Merlin engines on the first stage are gradually throttled near the end of the first stage flight to limit launch vehicle acceleration as the rocket's mass decreases with the burning of fuel. These engines are also used to reorient the first stage prior to re-entry and decelerate the vehicle for landing. So this should give you a basic understanding of the Falcon 9. And to know more about this rocket, click on that I button or check out the link in the description below. Falcon 9 has a total of 107 launches with 67 successful landings and 50 reflown first stage. The Falcon second stage and Falcon Heavy side booster restraint, release, and separation systems use pneumatic devices that provide low shock release and positive force separation over a comparatively long stroke. The pneumatic system allows for acceptance and functional testing of the actual flight hardware, which just is not possible with traditional explosive-based separation system. For each Falcon launch vehicle, SpaceX performs an exhaustive series of tests from the component to the vehicle system level. The test program includes component level flight acceptance and workmanship testing, structures load and proof testing, flight system and propulsion subsystem level testing, full first and second stage testing up to full system testing, including first and second stage static fire testing, as well as static fire tests on that launch pad. In addition to testing environmental extremes, flight critical and workmanship sensitive hardware is tested to account for those off-normal conditions. For example, stage separation tests are performed for off-normal cases with respect to geometrical misalignment, anomalous timing, and sequencing. The Falcon first stage is designed to survive atmospheric entry and to be recovered, handling both the rigors of ascent portion of the mission and loads of the recovery portion. Stage recoverability also provides a unique opportunity to examine recovered hardware and assess design and material selection in order to continually improve Falcon 9 and, of course, Falcon Heavy. Approximately 158 seconds into the flight, the first stage engines are shut down in an event known as main engine cutoff, or MECO. At this point, Falcon 9 is 80 kilometers or 50 miles high, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound. 3 seconds after MECO, the first and second stages separate. After separating, the second stages continue its journey towards space with 1 Merlin engine, while the second stage tries to land wherever specified. Here, things get just a little tricky. Falcon boosters have landed on land, but it's very rare. Most of the time, Falcon boosters land over a drone ship in the sea. But why? Well, there are some reasons for that. The first and the main reason to understand is that most launch sites are built close to major bodies of water to ensure that no components are shed over populated areas. Typically, a spaceport site is large enough that when a vehicle explodes, it should not endanger human lives or adjacent launch pads. And we know that SpaceX is pretty good at landing the rockets, but in some missions they failed to land, and the boosters ended up in the ocean. Now, you might say, hold on, they can land if they want to, considering a 100% probability that it will be a success and no human life would be in danger. Well, unfortunately, the answer to that is no, they cannot. SpaceX would prefer to fly its rockets back to the launch site, saving the time and expense of dispatching one of its floating landing pads and, of course, a fleet of recovery ships. But most of the satellite delivery missions don't have enough fuel left over in the rocket to even make it back to land. You can see in this image showing the SpaceX Falcon 9 flight path for landing. There was a lot of discussion around SpaceX would choose a drone ship landing over a more stable launch pad. NBC News suggested that a drone ship provided more flexibility in when and how launches can proceed. On Twitter, however, Elon Musk said that the primary reason has to do with the speed that's required to send the payload into orbit. Musk said that the root cause is really how fast that rocket needs to go in order to complete its mission. For orbital launches, a payload requires an arc-like trajectory and sufficiently high velocity to complete an orbit around the Earth. In order to bring the first stage back to the launch pad, additional lateral maneuvers are required. This is already on top of the deceleration maneuvers needed for soft rocket landings. Depending on the rocket's velocity and the mass of its payload, there just may not be enough fuel to get back to the launch pad. Bringing a drone ship away from land and out closer to the trajectory of a rocket can reduce fuel requirements for a landing. For certain missions, this may actually be the only option for rocket recovery. Of course, sometimes there are other factors that play into this decision as well. SpaceX's launch of NASA's Jason 3 satellite included a drone ship landing, not because of fuel issues, but because the company didn't receive the necessary approving to bring boosters back to land. And lastly, if the booster somehow fails to land on the ground or launch pad, it just is going to blast into pieces. There is no recovery from that. But if that happens in the sea, it can actually be recovered from the ocean since it probably won't explode most of the time. And if SpaceX wants to use it, then Stage 1 can be refurbished again from scratch, rebuilt, then launched again like what the boosters of the space shuttles used to do. Now we all understand a bit more about the major reason behind the landing of Falcon 9 boosters on a drone ship. So let us discuss now Boca Chica, SpaceX's gateway to a Mars city. Well, actually, that sounds like a different topic to discuss in a different episode of DiscoverZen.